Oh, we're right in the fantasy world right now. 11 minutes to 9 o'clock. It's Carter's Corner. Aaron Malloy talking at the moment, and I'm going to hand it over to the boy himself, Travis Carter.
Oh, thanks, the boy.
The boy.
37, you're calling me
the
a boy.
man,
That's
the legend. What can I say?
The myth. No. Come on, this serious show, we've got to be serious.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've been having a chat we just got off the phone to Bruce Reynolds, who is a mayor candidate. So going down the smaller end of town, or just as important though, we've got David Ho, who is running as a councillor candidate for the upcoming Perth election. So say hello to everyone, David.
Good evening, listeners. I'm David Ho.
Fantastic. So, David, tell us a little bit about yourself, why you decided to run as a candidate, and what you hope to achieve if you are successful.
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me tonight. My name is David Ho, and I've been running a small business in the Perth CBD over the last few years. And I have seen the up and downs and the goods and bads of what's been happening in the city development. And I always believe that there is always rooms for further improvement. And being a person have a wide community experience, and I would like to offer my talent and time. So that's why I run for the councillor this time in the election 2020.
Fantastic. So if you are successful in becoming a councillor, what do you think you can bring to Perth that the other councillors can't bring?
I'm not so sure whether other councillor can bring, but I'm very strong in looking in the situation. Say, for example, under the pandemics, a lot of people are out of work, right? That's a very important issue. So I would, if I am being elected as a councillor, I will try to, propose a stimulus package for people to more easy to set up business in the city of Perth. And the reason is that we can offer them concession in some other, in different parts of, of the fields, in order to let more business can set up. And then that means they will create more employment, more jobs.
Definitely.
Yeah, but obviously, to provide this situation, we also have to I will also propose some other formula or other suggestions, policies to support it.
Okay.
Now, David, you've been in Perth 40 years, is that right?
Yeah, nearly 40 years.
Fantastic,
yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
So, and basically in the centre of Perth for much of that, I guess?
Not quite, but for over the last 10 years, I've been in the CBD. Yeah.
I think that makes you a local, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Far more than I am, that's for sure.
I'll be honest with you, I hate going into the CBD. It's just too busy for me.
Look,
I'm a country boy through and through.
That's like Country Boy 101.
Okay.
To me, it's a big thing. If you're living in that environment, that's your world. You're far more in touch with it. I've never met you before tonight, but I think that that's a big part of it. If you know the community, if you know the businesses, it gives you quite an insight.
Sure, yeah, that's right.
So just going back to what you were saying about encouraging more jobs in the city to help get through this economic crisis caused by the COVID-19, and you were talking about stimulus packages to help the businesses stay afloat and to hire more people and create more jobs that way.
Yes.
What sort of things can the city of Perth do to actually create that stimulus? So are we talking about reducing any land taxes or like local shire rates for businesses, or what sort of stimulus packages can help?
I would think City of Perth is not the only organisation that can make decision.
Yep.
Of course, we will have to work with some other state-level government departments. Probably land tax is one issue.
Yep.
And also another way is, first of all, how to promote and attract more people to come to the city. This is another issue.
Okay.
And you can lower the land tax to zero, but there's no one coming.
That's exactly right. Fair point. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So moving forward as well, so as we were talking before, so some of the other issues that were coming up a lot was homelessness and drug and alcohol abuse. So what are some of the things that you can think can be done to ease the pressure on the homelessness side of things?
Well, first of all, I believe, for any particular phenomenon, you will have to find out the cause of it first. Now, why do these people, are homeless? And if we really provide them with a home, will they continue to do that? And because I see them, I've done some research. I believe there's some incentive for them to become homeless. For some of them, not all. Yeah, and I think sometimes, if I'm not wrong, it may, in some sense, related to drug use. Yeah.
A lot of homeless people I've spoken to, and especially down the Rockingham way, there was a little homeless community where they'd just camped out in the bush. And a lot of them wouldn't move from that area because they were very, very close to family. So all the homeless shelters and accommodation and services were all focused in Perth. So one of the questions that I have received on the Facebook, so that's on my own personal Facebook there, they've asked, is moving homeless services out of the city, is that something to help not focus the homeless people within the Perth City area, and is that just going to be pushing the problem from one area to the next, or do you think that's something that's going to be sustainable moving forward?
I think when we solve a problem, we will have to look at whether it's a long-term solution or short-term solution. If you have a bag of rubbish right in your doorstep and you try to put it somewhere else, yes, when you look at your doorstep, there's no rubbish. But then the rubbish has not disappeared. Yeah. It is just gone somewhere.
Okay.
So,
Okay, fantastic. And the other one that's really been pushed on my Facebook side of things for the ads and that is a lot of people, especially after, like I said earlier, what happened with Lisa Scafidi, transparency and openness has been a very, very large issue. And as you've seen with Di Baines having, I think, about $102,000 worth of donations that's been published on, and also with other candidates not really reporting very well. Do you think the corruption and the problems that we had with Lisa and the previous Lord Mayor and other previous councillors, do you think those problems have still carried through, or do you think that's something that's in the past now?
Well, I think, to lie is a human nature, especially I read some books of psychology. And the reason of lying is is for self-interest. To combat this, I believe more stronger and stronger supervision is a must. To probably self-declaration and also penalty is another way to combat it. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I flip things back a little bit? We were talking about the homeless issue in Perth, and it's a very important issue. And to be frank, I think it's probably one of the most important social issues we have at the moment. Now, currently, according to Health Department figures, 2 million needles are handed out per year in WA. 2 million, and most of those in the CBD. Now, that's pretty much one for every man, woman, and child here in WA.
WA has 2.7 million people.
Let's not play with the maths.
Fine.
It's a lot of needles is what I'm getting at. So, look, do you have a plan for that? I mean, that side of things. Do you believe that the Health Department might be, overstepping their bounds a little bit there with being far too free and easy with that?
Yes, this is not a easy question to answer. Let me think about it. I think what the motive of Department of Health to do it is correct, but sometimes something, if you continuously doing it without updating the situation, could cause problem. I think the people who apply to, first of all, I haven't received those needles before. I don't know how they distribute it.
Sure.
And then whether they need to apply for it, or just when you stand here, someone will come to you and distribute the needles. I'm not so
sadly,
sure.
Yes, they literally walk up to them and hand them to them.
I see.
I've heard 25 needles per person per day.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So I haven't been able to confirm that, but that's what's commonly reported.
Okay.
Yes, I think this is not a policy, to help those who are in need. Rather, is oversupplying of needles. Or for some people who don't need it, and they may use it to sell it or for some other purposes. So I think one of the way to combat it is, try to make it more stronger supervision, and then people will have to put down their IDs and whatever, and to prove they need it before they can be issued.
Okay.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, David, can I just take a moment, mate? A quick little break. And we'll, have a drink. A little word from the people who pay the bills and so forth, and we'll be back in just a tick on 89.7. It's 9:05. Smolloy with you. Of course, that's very sudden. Jeez. With you doing the old buttons here for Carter's Corner here on 89.7. I hope you're having a great little evening and being very, look, I was going to say entertained. That's not the right word. How about educated? How about informed? Let's go with that.
Informed's a good one.
I like that.
Informed.
Yes, I think so.
I have my moments, yeah.
Sometimes, every now and then, except when you're turning everyone's microphone off and you're not meant to. But no, we'll let that one slide.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's all right. Yeah.
Obviously, Carter's Corner, we are here with David Ho, one of the councillor candidates for the upcoming, is it Saturday or Sunday, the election?
Saturday.
On Saturday this weekend, we're with David Ho live in the studio. So I have had a couple of questions come through on the text message. The first one was asking about the Chinese Communist Party, their influence in trying to, especially there's all these reports about what happened with Sam Deskatari, how they're trying to buy politicians. The person that sent through the question has said, does David, is he affiliated with the CCP, Chinese Communist Party?
Yep.
And does he know a gentleman by the name of David Zhang, who apparently is a part of, I think it's called the United Front, which is the Australian version of the Chinese CC Party.
Okay.
So I'll throw it over to you, David. Are you affiliated with any political parties or any foreign entities?
No, I'm not. Not even with the Australian party. I'm at the moment, no party.
Total independent, fantastic. Now, off air, we were talking about whether you knew Edward. Am I saying his last name right? Zhang? Xiang. Yeah. So you said you knew him as a friend, but you don't do any political things with him. Is that correct? For the record.
Yes, I have come to Perth nearly 40 years, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
And during that early stage of time, I also met Edward.
Yep.
And he started his business. And he's, quite successful. But to answer your question, I have not been invited by him to join in any political activities. No,
fantastic.
not at all.
Now, on your flyer, I have noticed that you're there, and I can see I love their pens. The Chunghwa Association, you're vice president, was it?
I was vice president the next year. After that, I was promoted to, elected rather.
Yep.
Elected to the senior vice president position.
Fantastic. So you do have experience dealing with large organisations, because for the viewers and listeners who don't know, Chunghwa Association is one of the largest Chinese community
yes, over
groups.
100 years now.
Yeah, so my mum used to do dragon boat racing, and so I was a Chunghwa member. Yes, I know I'm white and I was a Chunghwa member.
It doesn't matter.
It's an awesome organisation. I actually got a lot of time for them, so that's cool. So, and now, Aaron's, we've had a text message come through on the 0418 897 897 text line.
Many, in fact. Okay, well, one actually was, of course, asking David about Edward, which we have covered, which is fantastic. There's a big bunch here. Let's have another look as they're all coming in. Let's have a look at this one. What have we got here? Okay, now... No, I don't think we wanted.
Wasn't there one about voter fraud you were telling me about?
Oh, yes, yeah, we've got one about voter fraud, absolutely. What are your thoughts about voter fraud when it comes to the election? Well, obviously, it's become a problem, something that's prominent in America at the moment, or certainly the conversation about it. Are you concerned about that being part of this election?
I think, there's a reason to be concerned, but so far at this stage, I don't see any hints or evidence for this particular election.
Okay, that's a fair call. Yeah. So, what's another question we got there,
Well, I'm going through them right now. I'll tell you what, I'm clicking away, and my IT skills are rather fabulous. Okay, so no, that one I'm not going to go with either. Look, I will say this. I thank everybody for these questions. There's some fantastic questions coming through. Very insightful.
Just while you run through that one, Aaron, I've just had one come through on my phone.
Great.
It's going back to the Edward Zhang thing. Hi, Travis. Please ask David whether he has been sponsored or supported by Edward Zhang. I've butchered that pronunciation of his last name again. So I do apologise.
Well, I want to be honest, and I haven't been sponsored by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But because Edward runs a newspaper, Chinese newspaper called the Australian Chinese Times.
Yep.
And then he said to me he would, give me, the best position possible. Mm-hmm. But I still have to pay, of course. I don't do it for free. So he has helped. Yeah.
Well, just going on back on that transparency thing. So thank you for being honest. So that's all people can ask for.
Absolutely.
And knowing that they've got a counsellor that first of all is going to work for their best interest and is going to be honest about all their dealings. So, and I think that's where Lisa failed, personally.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
But there you go. You know, look, I think transparency is the absolute number one thing to focus on here.
That's
because
right.
we've gone through a run here where we have lost complete faith in government. I mean, look, there is, not going to play the conspiracy line here, but let's face it, we have a lot of very, very ordinary ethics going through a lot of government at the moment.
Right.
It's a really huge issue. And with what went on with the council before, with, Lisa Scafidi and others, we want to make sure that whoever is in those very powerful positions shows respect for the citizens of Perth and the voters, quite frankly. Simple as that.
That's right. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, Aaron, fire away with another question there.
Fire away? No, look, I'm afraid the couple of questions here are a little inappropriate, so I'm not going to go with them. I think
for the ladies there, yes, I am married. I've got 3 kids, and no, I'm not on the market.
Oh.
But Aaron, on the other hand...
Yes, well, I am on the market, but quite frankly, it's probably something you'd find in Wu-Tang. It's a terrible question there. All right, mate. I think we'll have to give these questions a bit of a miss on these ones. We'll go with the fresh ones you've got. Yep. Otherwise, look, I think, would David like to sort of sum things up here and sort of talk about, what he brings, what's unique about you that you can bring to the role?
Yeah, this is a very good question. And I believe with my wide community experience that we mentioned about in regard to the Chonghua Association, and also, my character, I've been actually observing what the City of Perth has been doing over the last few years. And I believe that I'm a calm and, ability to listen a person. I want to have a fair go. Yeah. And if I'm elected, I will open my telephone line to anyone who will want to speak to me in regard to any, council issue.
Okay.
Yep.
And so I will jot it down one by one, and then if I believe that is necessary, I will bring it up in the meeting.
Fantastic. I have to admit, I have tried to get a hold of the Honourable Fran Logan in regards to the State Emergency Act.
Yep.
And it is absolutely impossible.
Really?
Receptionist, secretary, reception, we'll call you back. It's been going on for 6 months. So
it's a case of, you've got to contact their people who get onto their people and so forth.
Yeah, so
you just need some people.
To be honest, for David willingly opening up his phone number to be able to contact to
says so much.
Is huge. So massive decision there.
I think that's necessary.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Absolutely agree. I think that people need to know who they're dealing with. Yeah. I think, look, you would be in a position where, your influence on so many people and so many lives. Sure. So, I think that you should be reachable. I think that people who have an issue with council or whatever the case may be should be able to contact you and put their point forward. I think that's brilliant, mate. Thank
Fantastic.
you. I would like to, before we close, thank you for having me tonight, but I would like to have words of reminder. Because of the Australia Post, my understanding is that they only deliver letters 3 times a day, 3 days in a week, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
3 days in a week. So the counting day of the ballot paper is on the 17th of October, this coming Saturday. So we cannot rely, if you haven't, returned the ballot ticket as yet, we cannot rely on post. Yep. So people will have to personally go to the City of Council, City of Perth Council House, and then to deposit their ballot paper. Okay, that's a very, very important point. Otherwise, your vote cannot be counted.
Yeah, so that's massive. So do you know the address where the ballots are? No, that's right. We'll Google it and we'll find out. So for those who we are recording this, so it will go up on our YouTube if you want to have a listen later.
Apparently, all ballot posts marked prior to the voting day should be counted. So that's something worthy to mention.
Must be,
So, but I think what we'll do, we'll try and get the address for the actual where you can vote, and we'll chuck that into the next segment. So let's wrap this one up. David, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the radio, and I have to say, he's got a really good radio voice.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I might just give him a job, actually. If this doesn't work out, hey.
I was
got a gig.
I was the DJ on the Radio 6 EBA. It's a community radio.
There you go. So, man of many talents.
It's a community radio to broadcast news for the community. It's not for profit.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff.
Awesome.
All righty, we'll go to a song. Okay, have a little break then. Thank you again very much, David.
Yep, and we'll have Di Bain after the break.